This presentation will cover CDA Competency Standard 1, Functional Area 1, SAFE. Of all the responsibilities you carry as an early childhood professional, this is the one that comes first. The Council for Professional Recognition states the standard plainly. A candidate provides a safe environment and teaches children safe practices to prevent and reduce injuries. Over the next few minutes, we will walk through what that looks like in real classrooms and family child care homes and how it shows up in your CDA portfolio. The NAEYC Code of Ethical Conduct asks early educators to place the welfare and safety of children above other obligations. When children feel secure in a safe, stable, and trusting setting, they are better prepared to develop well and to learn. So safety is not a single unit you teach once a year. It is the foundation everything else rests on. The chapter in the Essentials textbook organizes this functional area into 5 strategies, and we will follow them in order. First, keeping children physically safe. Second, teaching children about safety so they can begin to protect themselves. Third, modeling safe practices because children do what they see you do. Fourth, knowing how to respond when an injury or emergency happens. And fifth, partnering with families because the safest children have consistent safety messages at school and at home. Keep these 5 in mind. The CDA is a national credential. You would be expected to know and follow the rules at every level applicable to your workplace, whether those be national, state, or local. 2 national references describe the latest recommendations for our field. The first is Caring for Our Children, now in its 4th edition, which sets health and safety standards for infants, toddlers, and preschoolers in both centers and family child care homes. The second is Caring for Our Children Basics, which builds on that foundation. Another layer, if you work in a Head Start or an early Head Start program, you will also be following national program performance standards that apply across all settings. Here in Texas, your day-to-day rules come from the Texas Health and Human Services Child Care Regulation Division. Licensed centers must follow the minimum standards in Chapter 746, and licensed and registered homes follow Chapter 747. Always consult with your administration if there are questions about which rules will apply. Supervision is the heart of physical safety. In a center, the standard is simple to state and demanding to keep. You must be able to see and hear all of the children all of the time. The classroom team shares that responsibility. In a family child care home, you may supervise by sight or sound, but during nap time, sound alone is not enough. Supplement it with regular visual check-ins, looking in on sleeping children, even when you hear nothing unusual. Ratios put numbers to that responsibility. Here you can see the national maximum from Caring for Our Children Basics next to the Texas minimum standards. Look at how different they are. Nationally, a group of 2-year-olds runs somewhere between 4 and 6 children per adult. The Texas minimum for that same age is 11 to 1. Both can be lawful in their setting, and the national standard reflects what research says young children actually need. This is a perfect example of a minimum standard being a floor, not a target. 2 more supervision habits. First, stay alert to children's growing motor skills. The infant who could not roll last week can roll off a changing table today. Never step away from an infant on a raised surface. If you must, answer the phone or handle an emergency, alert a colleague to cover, or take the child with you. Second, anticipate transitions and head counts, which we will return to when we talk about field trips. A child can be perfectly safe all day and still be put at risk in the last 5 minutes if they leave with the wrong adult. When a family is enrolled and whenever the paperwork is updated, ask for a written statement naming the people authorized to pick up their child. Keep that list current, keep it in writing, and keep it in file. Any change goes in writing too. Then honor the list every single day. Children should leave only with the adults a family has authorized, and a sign-in and sign-out system gives you a clear record of who has the child and when. This includes family members. If a grandparent is visiting and will collect a grandchild, that name belongs on the authorized list first. It can feel awkward to ask a loving relative for identification. Naming the policy clearly to families at enrollment makes those moments routine instead of uncomfortable. Some of the most serious hazards are ones you cannot see. Lead is a powerful poison, and children under 6 are at the greatest risk because their brains and bodies are developing so quickly. The key message for today is that there is no safe level of lead in a child's blood. In your Essentials textbook, the chapter cites the 2012 CDC percentages. The CDC lowered its blood lead reference value to 3.5 micrograms per deciliter in 2021. Most lead poisoning today comes from dust and chips of deteriorating paint in older buildings. Any building constructed before 1978 may contain lead-based paint, so it should be tested by an EPA-certified firm, and the soil and water should be checked as well. Day to day, you lower the risk with simple habits: wet cleaning surfaces and using a HEPA vacuum rather than dry sweeping. Wash children's hands and toys often, run cold tap water before using it for drinking or formula, and serve food on lead-free dishes. Carbon monoxide earns its nickname, the silent killer, because it is odorless and colorless, and it builds up without warning whenever fuel burns incompletely. Babies and young children are among the most susceptible. Prevention is straightforward. Install carbon monoxide detectors and test them on the same schedule as your smoke alarms. Have furnaces, fireplaces, and wood stoves inspected yearly, and never use a grill, a gas oven, or a stovetop to heat a room. Learn the symptoms, which look like flu at first: headache, dizziness, vomiting, confusion, and in severe cases, seizures. If you suspect carbon monoxide, act fast. Get the child outdoors into fresh air, turn off the source if you can do so safely, call 911, and begin CPR if the child has stopped breathing. These 3 hazards all end the same way, with a loss of oxygen to the brain. And the encouraging news is that almost every case can be prevented. Choking is an internal blockage of the airway, usually food or a small object. Suffocation is an external object covering the nose and mouth. Strangulation is constriction of the neck, often from a cord or drawstring. For choking, size is everything. Keep away toys or detachable parts smaller than 1 1/4 inches across, and balls smaller than 1 3/4 inches. Food is the bigger danger for children under 4. Hot dogs are the single most common choking food in young children because their shape and texture form a perfect plug in the airway, and cutting them into coin-sized rounds actually makes that worse. Avoid hot dogs, whole grapes, popcorn, nuts, hard candy, chunks of raw firm vegetables, and sticky foods like marshmallows for this age group. Then build safe habits. Children sit upright to eat. Food is cut small. Water is available, and an adult supervises every meal. For suffocation and strangulation, most infant deaths trace back to unsafe sleep, which we will cover next. Beyond sleep, remove cords and drawstrings from clothing, including hoods. Never hang pacifiers or rattles around a child's neck, and never use window blinds with accessible cords. If you remove the hazard, you remove the tragedy. Sleep safety deserves its own moment because most infant suffocation deaths happen in unsafe sleep environments. Here are some updated information from what your CDA Essentials textbook presents to you. The new terminology is SUID, sudden unexpected infant death. So from the CDC, sudden unexpected infant deaths include sudden infant death syndrome, which is that SIDS acronym, unknown cause, or accidental suffocation and strangulation in bed. These deaths occur among infants aged younger than 1 year and have no immediately obvious cause. In 2022, there were about 3,700 SUID, sudden unexpected infant deaths in the United States. 1,529 deaths were from SIDS. 1,131 deaths were from unknown causes. The rules are clear and they are not negotiable. Always place an infant on the back to sleep for every sleep up to 12 months of age. The crib gets a firm, flat mattress and a fitted sheet and nothing else. No pillows, no loose blankets, no bumper pads, no stuffed animals, no sleep wedges or positioners. Babies sleep in cribs, not in swings, not in car seats, not in bouncers, and not in adult beds. Because a baby who falls asleep at an angle can slump into a position that blocks the airway. Children can share a room, but they never share a crib, cot, mat, or bed. Keep the room at a temperature that will be comfortable for a lightly dressed adult, since overheating raises the risk, and dress babies lightly rather than bundling them. Keep the whole environment smoke-free. When a parent or substitute asks why you are so strict about the empty crib, you can answer with confidence. Every one of these rules removes a known risk. Food keeps children healthy, and handled carelessly, it can make them sick. The U.S. Department of Agriculture gives clear storage rules worth knowing. Refrigerate perishable food within 2 hours and within 1 hour when the temperature is above 90 degrees. Keep your refrigerator at or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit and your freezer at or below 0. Use an appliance thermometer so you are not guessing. Beyond temperature, think about separation and cleanliness. Keep food preparation areas physically separate from where children play, where you change diapers, and where children use the toilet. Keep pets and pet food out of the food area entirely, and make hand washing automatic. Everyone washes before and after preparing or eating, and an adult is always present while children are cooking, serving, or eating. If you work in a family childcare home, remember that you are, in effect, the food manager and the cook. So all of these responsibilities are yours. We will return to food allergies in functional area number 2. Here is a habit that the chapter recommends and that I want you to actually practice. Get down on the floor at the children's level and look around your room. From a child's point of view, you will spot dangers you walk right past at adult height. The dangling cord, the wobbly shelf, the small object under the table. As you scan, ask the right questions. Are the toys non-toxic and non-flammable? And are choking hazard gone? Is the furniture child-sized, sturdy, and anchored to the wall or floor so it cannot fall on a child? Are electrical outlets covered and computer cords secured so no one trips? Outdoors, check that play areas are free of debris, standing water, sharp edges, and toxic plants. That there is shade, and that fall surfaces under climbers and swings are soft and deep enough. The chapter provides master safety checklists for indoor and outdoor settings for infants and toddlers and preschoolers, both in centers and in homes. Use them as inventories on a schedule. Some items, like crib slat spacing, you confirm once and you are done. Others, like smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, you check monthly. And some, like clearing the outdoor area of hazards, you check every single day. Before you start, sit down with a supervisor and agree on which items are yours to monitor and which belong to someone else. In a family childcare home, every item is yours. Anytime children leave the safety of your room, supervision gets harder, so preparation matters more. For field trips, prepare for the what ifs instead of worrying about them. Collect signed permission slips and emergency forms. Scout the site in advance so you know where you would go in an emergency. Recruit family volunteers for more eyeballs, and count the children over and over before you leave, when you arrive, throughout the visit, and before you head home. Make name tags that show your program's name and phone number, but never the child's name, because a stranger who can read a child's name can use it to gain trust. Riding toys are a daily version of the same idea. Helmets go on before a child gets on a trike. Children ride only on flat, hard surfaces away from the traffic, and equipment stays in good repair with seats and wheels firmly attached. A trike would need to be the right size when the child's feet reach the pedals. Car and bus safety is information you use and also pass along to families. Children ride in age and size appropriate car seats and in the back seat, never in an adult's lap. Just as important, teach children to be active participants as pedestrians. Hold an adult's hand, stop at the curb, and look left, then right, then left again. Narrate it as you do it together so the habit becomes theirs. Games like red light, green light make that practice fun. 3 classic hazards round out the physical safety strategy. With fire, children under 5 are far more likely to die in a fire than older children and adults, and curiosity about flames is part of why. Keep smoke alarms and extinguishers working, practice fire drills monthly so escape becomes second nature, and teach children that matches and lighters are tools for adults only. Teach them they cannot hide from a fire, that they crawl low under smoke, and that once they are out, they never go back in. Practice stop, drop, and roll until it is automatic. Water is deceptively dangerous. A young child can drown in as little as 1 inch of water and can suffer irreversible brain damage within minutes. The danger is not only pools. It is water tables, buckets, sinks, and toilets. Supervise constantly during any water play. Empty water tables and buckets every day, and in a home setting, consider a latch that keeps the toilet lid down. For poison, your first line of defense is to make poisons unavailable. Lock cleaners, chemicals, and medicines in a cabinet out of children's reach, and never call medicine a treat. Post the poison control number where everyone can see it, 1-800-222-1212. That number connects you to expert help in your own language, day or night. Keeping children safe is your job. And one of the best ways to do it is to teach children to help keep themselves safe. That is a skill they carry for life. You can start with toddlers. Even young toddlers can understand that rules keep everyone safe. A few principles make safety rules actually work. Keep them few, short, and easy for a child to repeat. State them positively. Tell children what to do rather than what not to do. Instead of, don't run inside, try, be safe, walk inside. Help children understand the why behind a rule and give them a voice in making the rules, because people of every age follow rules they help to create. Illustrate rules with pictures for children who are not yet reading or who are learning English. Repeat them in children's home languages and let children practice. One caution the chapter is firm about, and I know it matters to you. Coloring sheets and stickers do not teach safety to young children. Neither does fear. Real learning comes from concrete, repeated practice through stories, dramatic play, role play, and real materials. Visit a fire station. Practice crossing a pretend street. The goal is for children to develop an inner voice, an instinct that senses when something is not right, and that instinct grows from positive practice, not from being frightened. Children understand that safety matters when they see you living it. So model it. Begin with the basics that qualify you to be trusted with children, a background check, and current training in pediatric first aid and CPR, so you can respond when seconds count. Then let children see your safety habits. Buckle your own seatbelt every ride. Follow the very rules you set for them. When you notice a hazard, narrate your thinking and solve it out loud, because that turns an ordinary moment into a lesson in problem solving. The chapter offers a great example of a teacher who notices children burning their hands on the oven and walks the whole group through figuring out why and fixing it, all the way to ordering safer silicone mitts. The children learn far more from that conversation than from a poster on the wall. Finally, stay current with safety guidance and the latest recommendations for toys and equipment, and know the signs of abuse and neglect. Provide a setting where children feel safe enough to share their feelings is part of keeping them safe, and as mandated reporters in Texas, we have a legal duty to act on concerns. Even in the safest setting, children get hurt, so knowing how to respond is part of the job. Your best preparation is the pediatric first aid and CPR training that comes with the CDA process. Keep 2 well-stocked first aid kits where staff can reach them and children cannot, and check them so nothing is missing or expired. When an injury happens, treat it calmly and directly. Children take comfort in seeing that you are in charge and know what to do. For a minor burn, run cool water. For a small cut, clean and dress it. Then 2 steps follow every single time. Complete an incident report and tell the family the day it happens. That builds the trust that tells family their child's safety is your priority. Some situations are beyond first aid. Call 911 and get the child to a hospital for loss of consciousness, breathing difficulty, severe bleeding, seizures, neck, back, or head injuries, possible broken bones, or signs of shock. And think beyond the individual child. Every program needs written emergency plans for fire, severe weather, and other disasters with evacuation routes, a meeting place, and clear roles for who does what. Fire plans are the top priority. Practice all of them so that in a real emergency, everyone moves without having to think. The 5th strategy ties everything together. A child's safety is a top priority for their family too, so bring families in. Share the many ways you keep the setting safe and provide your procedures in families' home languages. Gather what you need from them. Emergency contacts, the list of who may and may not pick up their child, permission to photograph, and any disability or care needs that would affect an emergency response. Go a step further and offer family workshops. Good topics come straight from this chapter: keeping smoke and carbon monoxide detectors working, teaching a preschooler to dial 911, storing poisons safely, telling pretty plants from poisonous ones, and stranger safety taught without instilling fear. Help families build a home emergency plan, because the same safety messages at school and at home give children a clear, consistent picture of how to stay safe. So that is functional area 1. If you remember nothing else, remember the 5 strategies as 5 verbs: prevent, teach, model, respond, and partner. I will see you in the next session.